You're always right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ming Chen at the 19th Annual Garden State Film Festival. We're at the Shared Universe Podcast Studio, Podcast Lounge, located inside the Berkeley Oceanfront Hotel. Again, my name is Ming Chen. I'm here with the co-host who's been with me all day, CJ Cullen.
CJ, hello. How are you doing? We're in the Johnny Cash room, by the way.
Yeah, you gotta love it. And then I'm here with David Lipper from Reboot Camp. How are you, my friend?
Hi, I'm good. I'm just noticing you guys have gone through quite a few ciders and beers through the day. You started at 11.
We started at 11.
Seeing a lot of empty cans here.
We paced ourselves.
This is good. I'm the last slot when everyone's hammered.
Yeah, well, we're not done yet. We're kind of
Last night was where it started.
Yeah, we're kind of the official, unofficial after party spot as well. You know, kind of with COVID.
So after my movie premiere tonight, we come back
This
here.
is where to go.
Come back here. We'll have
Chicken nuggets. We had about 80 chicken nuggets last night, and that's where it started.
I wanted people to, I needed some food to soak up the alcohol.
Pizza here is pretty good.
It's
I got to
pretty
tell
good.
you, I had one today.
Yeah, and when I can find it, maybe I can find some Labatt or some Molson, some native Canadian
some good
beer.
Canadian brew, eh?
For yourself, because I grew up in Michigan near the Windsor border, and
So you were able to get some of that.
So I'm getting ready to shoot a movie actually in what they call Sault Ste. Marie.
Yes.
Even though it's spelled salt, Ste. Marie. Don't ask me to explain
I'm like,
that.
what's the STE period? What does that mean?
Don't understand any of it, but it's right on the Michigan border. There's actually a Sioux on the Michigan side, a Sioux on the Canadian side.
Yes.
So I'm getting ready to do a film called A Christmas Letter, which I wrote and will be starring in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice Christmas movie.
Yeah, good old Christmas movie.
Wow. Okay. So hopefully ready in time for Christmas.
It will
2021.
be. Yeah, it'll be out. It'll be out Christmas 2021. Yeah.
That's amazing. And,
Is there already release, or you have to sell it? Or?
I know right now. I think they're already saying the CBC in Canada is going to run it, and they're looking. They'll let me know which U.S. network. I'm not distributing it, but I am making it for the distributors, which is a company called Incendo. Yeah.
I mean, you can't mess with CBC, home of Kids in the Hall,
Hockey Night in Canada.
Hockey Night in Canada, and most importantly to me, Degrassi Junior High.
Yeah.
Degrassi. Come on. Yeah, the second or third incarnation, whatever they're on now.
Yeah, I
think they were on Netflix for a little bit there, like a new version of it.
Probably.
I'm old school, man. Wheels, Joey Jeremiah, the Zit Remedy. I know these guys well.
Wow.
I know. I love Canada.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a long line of comedy from Canada. Those are my roots. I grew up loving the SCTV guys, John Candy, and Mike Short. Martin Short's brother wrote all 5 seasons of SCTV. Wow. Him and I have a couple of pilots together that we're shopping right now. So super intertwined with those guys. And of course, Mike was one of the head writers on Schitt's Creek, which has just become like the biggest comedy.
So
I mean, since probably Friends. It's crazy. They swept the Emmys, all 7 comedy awards. So very excited to be working with Mike, who really was one of the top guys over there. Wow. He's been writing for Eugene Levy forever, and I think Eugene said, "Hey, my son and I have a show. Come on down and do some writing for us." And that's what happened.
It's so funny.
And I've told people forever, like, listen, American comedy is good.
We
Canadian
just do it
comedy
in Canada. What can I say?
Great.
Although I'm an American now, I shouldn't even say that.
Nah, I mean, but it's okay to be,
It's so many big time comedians from Canada.
Huge. Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But we're here to talk about Reboot Camp.
Oh yeah, well, it's a comedy.
Premiering with the screening here at the Garden State Film Festival in the 8 to 10 block over at the Asbury Lane.
That's right. We're at the fine location of Asbury Lanes, where they've taken a bowling alley.
Yes.
And they turned it into a movie theater.
Yes.
You see the sound there is pretty incredible.
I got to tell you, I was right by the speaker last night, and
Can you hear?
What? I'm sorry. What? Actually, I got to tell you, I loved that movie last night.
7 Days of Vegas. Yeah.
First of all, I'm a Vince Van Patten fan. I'm a World Series of Poker watcher. So, and a WPT. So, seeing him in a gambling degenerate movie, I have too many friends that are like, I mean, I've been in that situation with friends in Vegas, literally betting on everything.
Right.
Like, how long's Lipper going to take till he gets out of the can? I'm like, really, guys? You're betting on that? What's the over/under?
I know, yeah. Somebody text me what the over/under is, and I will, give me a cut, and I'll make sure that you're taken care of.
I remember we had a New Year's, every New Year's Day there's the big college ball games, and we had everybody had lost money this weekend, and one of our guys was like a sports bookie type guy, and he's like, I got the lock of the century, and it was like Florida State, and it was like -1, and like they were whatever the score was, it was like -2, and they were up by 1,
right.
Oh, wow.
And they had the ball at the end of the game, and we're like, we can't win because they're just going to take a knee.
Yep.
And I'm like,
I remember that game, and it's like,
and we're like, we just lost. Like, we all bet everything we had because we'd already lost. We wanted to make back the money we lost that weekend. And then, like, they hand it off to the guy behind the goal line, and he starts running. And he's running. And he's running. And we're like, run!
Oh, my gosh.
And scored a touchdown. We're all jumping up and down and hugging each other. And that saved us all from a catastrophic weekend. And we all made money that weekend because of that one game.
That's insane.
It's insane, yeah.
What a story.
Just hearing that story, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, that's great.
I really am. I mean, I don't want to see you ruined financially.
I can just imagine how excited.
This was in the 90s. God, back in those days, that was a lot of money for me. Today, I would have survived. But
yeah, but I think someone mentioned last night that like the worst investment you can make is in independent film
movies,
and filmmaking, really. And
well, I hope that's not true. I've made 4 movies in the last year and a half. It's amazing. I've made this transition to a producer. I don't really know how it happened, but you keep your eyes open, you keep your foot planted one in front of the other, and you see what happens, and you give yourself an opportunity in this business. So for me, I was in China in 2018. I was helping a director out with a film called Underdogs Rising, which I also have a part in. Nice. I was coaching some of the younger actors, and the director of the next movie saw me like helping out behind the scenes because the Chinese group there needed help.
Sure, yeah.
And he's like, I need a producer on my next film. Will you produce this thing? And I said, yeah.
Well.
And from that, I just kind of hit a zone. And then when I got back to LA, I said, you know what? I'm just going to make my own movies. So when Evo came up to me, he called me up and he said, it's a guy I'd worked with about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he said, Dave, I've got this script and I actually wrote it for you. And it's called Reboot Camp. And I was like, wow, fantastic. And I met him, and he had a producer with him at the time at this lunch. And I said, the movie's great, guys. What's your plan? How are you gonna shoot this? What's the plan? And then he's like, producer? And the guy goes, well, we can, we'll make the movie. We'll make a lot of money. I'm like, okay.
That's not a plan. That's
I said, well, who are you going out to? How much are you raising?
Right.
What's your budget? He's like, we'll raise, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $1 million. I said, okay, you crossed over 3 SAG budget ranges, right? So you got to pick one, and there's an opportunity with a film like this because it's a mockumentary, to really nail a lower budget and do it well.
Right.
And I know how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so if you need help, anyway. I could see this wasn't going to work, and this guy was probably a really good producer, by the way. He's a line producer who's done massive, giant budget commercials, but they're spoiled on those things.
Yeah, those things, they throw so much money they can play around with.
How great is it to just throw money at a problem
I'm
and it
going to
gets
tell
solved?
you something. Overqualified people are not what you need in independent film, and it's a lesson to be learned because if I've had a first AD who came highly recommended and he like all these big shows and whatever. And then when it came time to get people to move, well, I usually have a second who does that.
Yes,
I usually have this who does it. I'm like, there is no other guy. You need to move them.
You are the AD. You're not the first
or
or second. You are the AD on this production.
I just had this on my last, shoot where I'm like, literally picking up cameras and moving people. I directed a film called Wolf Mountain that was really a low budget film, but I think it's going to be amazing. Yeah. But you have to have that mentality for ultra low budget. So when I went through this with Evo, I said, Evo, we can do this, but it's gonna, we got to roll up our sleeves, we got to become partners, and we got to go for it. And he's like, Dave, I'm with you. And he flew in from Miami, where he lives. He moved into my house. And the other guy was like, you can't get cast at that budget. And I said, I'll get cast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I started doing my thing. I picked up the phone. I called Ed Begley. I got him and his wife. I've been friends with them for a while, and I said, I need you guys to come down. I called Eric Roberts and his wife. I've been friends with them forever. Yeah. I've done 2 movies with Eric already. Called David Koechner. My executive producer, Tim Mully, who's here, who'll be at the screening tonight, he picked up the phone and called Jarul. He goes, Ja, I need you down here, man.
And that's how it's done. That's
Ja
how
said,
it's done.
okay, man, send me a first-class ticket and get me a hot suite at the Ritz.
Right, easy, and then with that strong cast, it makes things easier as well. So I have to imagine, but
so that was happening, and then the script. So Evo was like, here's the script, and I said, listen, dude, script is great. Obviously, that's why we're here, but I think we keep it short, no more than 80 pages.
yeah.
And we let this thing go and let's just improv and see what happens.
We get enough talent here to, probably improv like 3 movies.
And he's like, whoa. And so, like, you'll see there's characters like the guy in the wheelchair. That wasn't a character in the original script. We created that. The mom and daughter. I had just read about this crazy thing that they blew out in this HBO show called The Vow.
Yeah.
With Catherine Oxenberg. Remember her daughter that were part of this Nexium cult?
Yes. Yeah.
And so I'd just been reading about it, and I said, this is what we need. We need, like, the
cult.
plastic actress mom and, like, the hot young daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know those 2 people. And I'm going to call my friend Melanie, who's got the big fake boobs and the whole thing. And I'm going to call Jessica Belkin, who had played my daughter in a Lifetime movie just a little before that, called Sleeping with My Student.
Sleeping,
a Shocktober special.
Wow.
Thank you, Lifetime.
Thank you, Lifetime, for an entire career of movies.
Of that, yes. that get a lot of views and
a lot of
yes.
viewers.
Yeah.
And so I've had dialogue I don't care to share from some of those movies. So Jessica came in, Melanie came in, Pearson Faudet played the guy in the wheelchair. He's an old friend. He's starring in a new film with Kevin Hart called Man from Toronto. It's also got Woody Harrelson in it. This thing just blew up. Lindsay Shaw was a friend of one of the other producers. She's from Pretty Little Liars. She was the mean girl. Unbelievable actress. The talent in this girl's off the charts. Reminds me of Parker Posey a lot. She's that girl for like the new wave of mockumentaries.
Yes. Wow.
It's like I was looking for that girl, and then like Lindsay, I was just like I'd seen 20 auditions from girls on that role, and nobody was even close to her in this lane. Like, it wasn't even remotely close. That's how good she was. Chaz Bono.
Yep.
I forgot he's in that.
My manager and him used to be an agent of mine years ago, his manager, and when he got pitched to me, it was so fun. I was like, yeah. And here's what's interesting. There was a fine line between who's playing themselves and who's playing a character from the script.
Right.
Now, Chaz was one of those people I was hoping would play himself, because anybody who was famous as a person, I wanted to play themselves. Anyone who was famous as a character actor kind of thing, I wanted them to be an actor. So like Ed Begley Jr., he's great to play a character.
Actor. Yeah.
Eric Roberts, I wanted to play himself because it's Eric Roberts. David Koechner, because of stand-up comedy, people know him as David Koechner. I wanted him to be himself.
Right.
Ja Rule himself. Right. So Chaz, that was like, I originally wanted him to be himself, and through his manager, he said, "I don't want to do that. I want to be me, but I want to be a character." And so we landed on the character of Herbert for him, and he's so good in this character. It's just this crazy cult follower who buys in 100% to this thing. And for those of you who don't know what the movie's about, I play a guy whose wife left him for self-help coach and a guru of sorts, and I was so pissed off about it that I made this deal with my brother, who's a documentary filmmaker. I said, let's blow this thing out. I'm going to pretend to be a guru. We'll open this thing. We'll call it Reboot Camp, where you reboot your system, and let's see what happens. And we'll film the whole thing, and we'll show like how easily people fall prey to this stuff.
Wow.
And by the way, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yes, it is.
And you look at guys like Tony Robbins, and making a fortune. And there's so many wacky documentaries on Netflix. I watched them all. Evo's like, here's 5 books, go read these, and then watch all these movies on Netflix.
That's your research for
And I did. And funny enough, I watched one called Holy Hell, because Evo, like 2 weeks before shooting, he goes, so what are you going to do for the guru character? Because I play 2 people in the movie. I play like the guy, that's basically me, who's Seymour, whose wife left him. And then the guru, the character that he creates. And I'm like, I didn't even think of it. I thought it was just going to be me in like a skirt or something. I don't know. Like, and he goes, no. Like, you should have like a character for him. I said, you're absolutely right. So I started watching these documentaries, and then I watched this one called Holy Hell.
Holy hell.
Holy hell.
And it's this French gay porn actor turned cult leader who walks around in this little G-string Speedo, and they carry around a chair for him.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, you can't even believe this thing is real, but it's real. And like, my jaw dropped when I watched it. And I went, that's it. That's the guy. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, that's the guy. I'm going to do a French accent. I'm going to be that guy. He goes, can you do a French accent? I said, I can, yes. and he's like, okay, yeah, look, I grew up in Montreal, so French Canadian accent. And the thing is, for the French people who watch the show, they're going to get extra jokes that nobody's even getting because I am saying complete nonsense in French. Like at one point I go, excellent trois fautes, which means excellent 3 mistakes.
Right.
It's just like, I'm just like knocking out stuff that makes no sense whatsoever, and it was just funny. It just worked. And I got to tell you, it was probably the most fun I've had on any movie in my life.
It looks like everyone is having fun. I've seen the trailer.
The trailer looks great.
I didn't even know if Keckner and Jewel were going to show up. Right? It's like, are they coming? Are they not coming? Like, Keckner, are you coming?
They said they were coming. I don't know.
And I had parts for them, and then like we did it. I wasn't sure if Dave was going to make it, so I gave his part to a great actor named Eddie McClintock, who's been in Warehouse.
Warehouse 13.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So Keckner shows up and Jewel shows up. I stick them in a room together. I come in to check on him. How you doing, guys? Jerul's smoking blunt after blunt. I mean, he's got literally a box of joints, and they're like this. I mean, they're high-fiving. They're like, "Yeah, man, you got to stick it to the man." And I'm like, Eva, we stick him in a room together. At this point, all the interviews all the sessions I did with the campers was one-on-one. I said, why don't we do a 1-on-2? I'm going to put them in the room together. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't know. And this is the whole thing. I have no idea what I'm going to ask them. Right. I have no idea what's going to happen. 45 minutes of gold comes out. And I don't even know how it went as well as it did, because there was never like a pause. It just went for 45 minutes. And he hands me a Polaroid camera. And he goes, here. Like, John, you're gonna make an angry face. I'm gonna put it on the Polaroid. Come on, and like that's what we did. And they're like,
that's amazing.
And I'm taking a picture, and and then the idea is we'll get it on a Polaroid and we'll throw away your anger, and get rid of it. And that was the crazy thing. I'd come up with the most idiotic routines of how to self-help.
Right.
And the funny thing is, almost anything can work.
Oh, yeah. If you market it good enough and you make it sound convincing enough, yeah.
It's just like, sure, breathe in and breathe out. It's going to feel good.
Right. Drink your bath water, get your vitality back in, whatever. You can say anything if you package it good enough and you make people believe it.
Is it hard to hold it in when you're doing scenes like that?
You know what the funny? I never broke character, not once. And it's like, the master of this is Sacha Baron Cohen, as far as I'm concerned, because he's been in situations where you're like, how has he not broken character? Because I'm scared for him that someone's going to shoot him or something, and he still doesn't break. So it's like, this wasn't that hard not to break character, just because you're in that zone. And when you're in that improv zone, especially with improv kings like Keckner and Ed Begley Jr., I mean, these guys are such pros. And you know what the greatest thing I learned from them is? Don't push it. Don't try and be funny. Play it honest. Play it real. Less is more. Yeah. And Ed Begley's truly the master of that, because he'll literally just do this.
He's done so much.
And you're in hysterics, And it's like, you just see the thought process going, and he just made me so, he made me laugh, I think, more than anyone.
Is he like one of the top character actors out there? He's been in everything.
He's done about 15 mockumentaries. He's Best in Show, which is probably one of the most successful of all time. Mighty Wind. Yeah. He's done a million of these things. All the Christopher Guest movies. Yeah. Too bad he wasn't in Spinal Tap. He probably would have been funny in that. But that's what this is. This is in that vein. That's the genesis of this movie. That's the format, and we don't see a whole lot of it. I mean, other than Christopher Guest, you really don't see the mockumentary format except on TV. You see it in The Office. You see it in Modern Family.
Yeah.
So it was really exciting to be able to reignite that format in this film. But it comes down to cast. You cannot make a movie like this without really good, funny people.
Yeah.
The irony is, some of the great moments came from the non-funny people, the reality stars.
Right.
And Evo very cleverly didn't let our key cast know about the reality stars that were coming in. Johnny Bananas, who's just completely bananas.
Right. Hence the name.
Yeah, and he's a huge MTV star.
Right.
Corinne Olympios, and they're known for being petulant. Like Corinne was the freak out chick from The Bachelor, and Sacha Baron Cohen actually did a prank on her. It was hysterical. He had her talking about a virus and a hazmat suit. It was a whole thing. You got to Google this. But so we had like some real reality stars that we didn't know what was going to happen, and Evo just set them loose. And Chaz freaked out. He's like, I'm going to walk off this set. Like, he was genuinely pissed. But so when you get that stuff on camera, that's all real with those reality stars. Like, that stuff was real, and they were pissed, and this was like disruptive, and it was tough.
But what it was brilliant. It's brilliant though.
And it's all real. The line between reality and fiction was really blurred in this movie. Like, I really was having sessions with people. I think I really helped some people. I think I helped Eric Roberts and his wife get through some sexual stuff. I really do. They were very lovey-dovey touchy after that. What can I tell you?
Did you have so much that you could almost make another film?
I know, How much did you shoot? Yeah.
I'm telling you, Jarul and Keckner alone, that could have been, an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. And by the way, every minute would have been entertaining. Every piece that was on the cutting room floor is like a dagger in my heart. The only good thing about this is Evo made a bunch of clips that we've been posting on our Instagram at Reboot Camp Film, our Facebook, and I think we're co-streaming you guys live now on our page to help push this out.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, that's great.
And so we're posting clips that we're giving to actors to post on their pages as well. Now, Nicole Aniston is a camp member in the film. I don't know if you don't know who she is. She's a massive porn star, playing herself in the film.
I plead the fifth on that one.
The funny thing is, but it's perfect because the whole point of this reboot camp is they come from all walks of craziness in Hollywood to come learn from the guru. And when you see the movie, you'll see she is so funny in this. Anyway, she's got like 4 million followers on her Instagram. And so she posted a video that didn't make the film of a clip of hers, and that got like 100,000 views like this. And so it's great to have these clips. Lindsay and I, my favorite scene in the whole movie, didn't make the film. You'll see it on our Instagrams, that clip of her with the gum. And it's
that's great. Nothing wasted, nothing truly cut.
Great.
So we've got those clips, some of them living. But it was really hard. We spent months, Evo and I, going through this edit, back and forth. Both of us, no, you can't lose that scene. No. And then you got to lose that scene. We can't fit everything. And then Evo, got really down and dirty on the cutting, and it's like, it breaks my heart. I got to cut it. It was like.
Yeah, do you remember the final runtime that you got it trimmed down to?
We got it right to about 90 minutes.
90 minutes, okay.
And that's like a perfect comedy length.
That's what we had to get it to.
Unfortunately, right? It's hard to do a 2-hour comedy to people to go see.
And the funniest moments are these improv moments, but you need to tell the story. You got to follow the script. You got to have the heart. You got to have the conflict. And I think we've done that. So, it was amazing to win the Austin Film Festival in October. One of the big ones that we were excited about, but it was virtual, so we didn't get to Then we won Maui about a month or two ago, which I didn't really know what was happening with that. It just like, hey, you won. I'm like, okay.
So was it? It was virtual. It wasn't virtual.
Virtual again. Yeah. Otherwise, hey, I would have loved to have gone to Maui.
So is this the first in person?
This is the first in person.
Wow.
So
okay.
It's the first time I'm going to see the movie with people in an audience. So I can't wait. So I'm going to head over to the theater now.
Yeah, I think we're going to join you. We want to
take a little break and go check it out.
But thanks for having me here, guys.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for joining us. This is great.
Yeah, you're amazing. We've been doing this all day. This is the one that ends today, and we end up on a really, really high note. Check out the Reboot Camp movie.
That Reboot Camp film or movie.
Yeah,
My God.
It's out there. It's a great. I mean, I remember watching the trailer. I was cracking up with the trailer.
No, I put it in the description. So rebootcampfilm.com for
there
sure.
You go.
Yeah, and same thing on social media at Reboot Camp Film.
At Reboot Camp. I gotta tell you, I'm not running the social media for at Reboot Camp Film.
Yep, at Reboot Camp Film. Yeah, I double checked that, so I would never lead you guys astray.
Thank you, man.
What's next for it? What's next for it?
What's next for Reboot? Oh, yeah. So we're going to be released wide by Freestyle. Freestyle Digital Media, which is a division of Entertainment Studios, which is Byron Allen's company.
Awesome.
Also, Chris Lambis is one of the runners there, the head of the company. And so they're going to run the film starting May 4th. It's going to go wide in the U.S. and Canada, and then Moonrise Pictures and Alarm Pictures are going to run it in the rest of the world in the U.K.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, would definitely check it out at a theater. You know, things are coming back. I might be my first theater experience.
I'm so excited. People. Hello, people.
There's people out there. Hey.
All right,
thank you so much, David
Thanks
Lipper.
for joining
We'll
us.
see you over at the Asbury Lanes for sure. So thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Garden State Film Festival running all weekend, GSFF.org. If you are here, get your butts over to the Asbury Lanes.
I'll be there.
Let's watch it. Let's all watch it and enjoy it and laugh together. Cheers,
and
my
have one of
friend.
these cold brews, which is
Death Wish in the house, everybody. World's strongest coffee for the world's strongest film, for the world's strongest filmmakers. My
Yeah, we
friend.
need a laugh, so we'll go over there and crack up.
All right.
For sure. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you soon.